Oh man, we live, baby. We live. We lit, baby. We lit. What's really good, family tree? Let me know that you guys are up in the building with me. Today's show, it is going off. The Islamic elephant in the room. Woo. Imagination of my nation. So yes, family tree, let me know that you guys are here with me. So I've had a request from the family members, you guys up in here within the comment section, you guys who are keeping in contact with me, you guys have basically said that you would want us to do a show today. So I am putting on a show. We are going to do a show which is basically viewer led. So you guys can literally come on in. The link has been shared as already. Come on in. And then go wherever you want to go. I've had Midas that's hollered at me, that's told me that they wanted to go through to Surah al-Fil, the year of the elephant, the Abyssinian king, Negus, Abraha. I think he wants to, pluck at some threads that's not right. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he has to offer. I'm looking forward to that. But again, you guys come on in. Like, I don't have anything particularly planned for you guys today, so I really want you guys just to come on in. The link has been shared. I will share it once more so you guys can come on in. Shout out to man like Medusa Neb up in the whoopsies. Delete that. There's the StreamYard link. Let me just get that. Copy link address and send that again to you guys. I don't even know why it's not allowing me to, but yeah, it's there basically. So come on in. We got facts over personality up in the building as well. What's really good. Real quickly though, I have been working on something. Let's see if I can share this with you guys somehow. So I've been working on the website, as I've said to you before. Let's try to do a screen share. Whoopsie, nope, we can't do a screen share. What can we do? Screen share with window. Yeah, there we go. So if we do screen share with window, let's see what that's capturing. Let's see if we can go into application capture and let's see if we can grab something. Google Chrome. I guess that's the only one it's allowing me to do. Never mind. I wanted to do it, but I don't think I can do it. So let me not even mess around with this. But yeah, I wanted to actually show you guys. I've been working on the website. For those of you guys who are interested in the Abyssinian origins of Islam, we've been working on that. I was a bit upset though the other day. I looked at it. There was basically one article that I had started doing and changing certain things around on the actual website, and somehow it didn't save. I had to reset my computer, and I think in the process of resetting the computer, it didn't save everything that I had on there, which kind of upset me because I couldn't remember how it was supposed to be. And I said, okay, fine, fair enough. I will just start again and start drafting out a new article, which in my humble opinion, I think the new article is going to be that much more better because it's very much so precise and concise. But yeah, family tree, I'm here with you guys. I'm literally, as I said, it's a viewer-led show. You guys wanted to talk about, well, somebody, Midas, has hit me up to say that he wants to discuss, certain things I've done in my previous videos. So I'm like, cool, let's go and do the show because I was going to do something on Sunday. So I'm just waiting for you guys to come on in. And yeah, let's see something though. Can I share? I'm still going to try to share my screen with you guys though. For some reason, I haven't been on long that to do a lot of things. Let's remove that. Cool. These are stuff that we've had up.
Century. The first
Okay, so this is kind of good. That's a website though. I wonder. I wonder, I might be able to do something actually. Give me a sec. Because if I go straight to my... If I go over here, so you know I haven't even prepared a show today. That's how you know like how much work goes into preparing a show, because it's a lot. So let's see if I can go here. And this browser, let's change it to this. Will it come up? Hey, it does come up. Perfect. Let's see if I can interact with this. Yeah, I can. Hey, look at that. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, I wanted to actually do something on this like a while back, do a show on this. Because I've always said that what's been translated is a very poor understanding, and it's been heavily influenced. So, okay, actually, let me do that then. Let me go into some knowledge, since I'm still waiting for some of you guys to come on in. All right, let's hit up some knowledge right now. Those of you who are with me right now, just drop a 1 so I know that you guys can hear me. Drop a 1 just to know that you are here and you can hear me. Drop a 1. Okay, so what I 1 second. Yeah, so let's do this. Can you guys see me though? I don't even know if you guys can see me. No, I don't think you guys can see me. Where is it? Over here. 1 sec. Ah, there I am. So let's bring me further to the forefront, like here. I swear I asked for a 1. I haven't seen nobody drop a 1 yet, you know. Anyways, we move. Cool. So back to it. Yeah, back to it. There is the Surah of the elephant that everybody kind of knows about. It's supposed to be the surah that links in, you know, the whole beginning of the Islamic narrative. What do I mean by the whole beginning of the Islamic narrative? The year of the elephant is like a big thing within inside of the Tariq, meaning the histories, or the Surah literature. It's the year that, or it's an incident, an occurrence, an event that took place that supposedly Muhammad was born under the year of the elephant, the day of the elephant, you know, the month of the elephant, whatever it is, right? He was born in this particular period to do with the year or something to do with the elephant. And supposedly this is where the Abyssinians conquered or were marching and conquering different parts of Arabia and went to conquer Mecca itself. And they've got a whole narrative around that, a very contradictory narrative, but there's a whole narrative around what took place in terms of the year of the elephant. And we have in the Quran a surah that's supposed to reflect, you know, this narrative, this thing in history that took place. And supposedly it's about the elephant, and supposedly it's about that narrative. Cool. Now, for Muslims, they will wholeheartedly accept it and take it because, you know, that's what Muslims do, or that's what just people do who are religious, okay? Religious people literally just listen to the stories that they've been fed, whether you're going to a mosque, a church, or whatever the case is, you've been fed whatever it is. You don't utilize your mind to think about it or think critically about it. You just simply accept it and you believe it, and it becomes part of your identity, becomes part of your culture, etc. That's just the way life is, right? But for those of us who are thinking people, who like to be critical, those who are more academically trained and academically minded, for example, academia will let you know that there is no historical, you know what, let me do even one better. Let me not even talk from the top of my head. Let me just tell you what historians who are even pro the Islamic narrative actually say. One second. So Angelica Newworth, what does she say? Okay, cool. The Surah centers on the military campaign into the north of Arabia by Abraha, the Abyssinian vice king of Yemen, which was undertaken not long after 543. Reports about this campaign are transmitted also outside of the local Meccan tradition. According to some reports, it was interrupted by the outbreak of an epidemic before the campaign reached Mecca, an event that was interpreted early on in the sense of a miraculous salvation of Mecca, as reflected already in the pre-Islamic poets, according to Horowitz. The participation of the elephants may also belong to the legendary embellishment on the historical background, see Noldek and Kister and Shahid, although the wording of the surah provides only an exemplary instance of divine punishment that is not connected explicitly to Mecca, according to Horowitz, who is also able to adduce older poetic references to the retreat of the Abyssinian attacker, Abraha. It can be assumed that in the pre-Quranic period, the narrative of a campaign by the Abyssinians accompanied by an elephant was already widespread in Mecca, and the Islamic transmission rightly referred Surah 105 back to it. On the basis of more recent studies, a concrete foreknowledge among the hearers can be assumed as certain. Rubin, on the basis of a critical assessment of the traditions, has pointed to the resonance in Quran 105 of the defeat of Abraha, who was said to have been forced to withdraw from the area around Mecca, achieving nothing and leaving the sanctuary miraculously spared, a turning point in the position of the Meccans on the peninsula. The pagan Meccans could thus establish themselves after this event as the holders of a significant cult center. Such an increase in their power even allowed them to relinquish the contracts for the securing of subsistence that were established with other tribes, which had earlier been crucial for their survival. This background renders the historical dimension back to the modest evocation of the event. Now, all of that, yet I hate it, to be honest with you, because when I listen to some of this stuff, I don't know if you got what was said, like, they themselves know that this whole story belongs to a legendary embellishment on the historical, and there's no historical, like, core to this at all. Yeah, there was a person called Abraha. Yeah, there was Abyssinians. Yeah, they did conquests in Arabia. But to now say that they failed to conquer Mecca or whatever the case is, like, because some miraculous stuff, it's like, I don't know how this actually enters into academia or something that is taken seriously. I really don't. And that's why it takes, like, people like myself, and so far it just seems like it's only myself who is of the Afrocentric persuasion. And what I mean by that is, I am an African-centered scholar. So if I'm looking into anything, cool, I'm looking into Islam, for example, I want to know, what were the Africans up to during this time period? Renaissance, what were the Africans doing during this time period? What was the, ruling class up to, the noble class up to? What was the hegemony? What was going on? And then, as an African-centered scholar, we understand already that there is always going to be a bias, whether it's a Eurocentric bias or in certain cases, a pale Arab bias, whatever the case is, we understand that. So we try to identify it, highlight it, and correct that narrative by actually looking at what the African narrative is, or what is the truth of the matter. And the truth of the matter, based upon all archaeological and literary accounts, is there is literally no archaeology or literary account of Mecca anyway during this time period. Full stop. So we know, craps. We know that Abraha conquered the whole of the Arabian Peninsula, let alone a town that would have been occupied by a maximum of 500 people versus his army of 20,000, soldiers could have possibly defeat. Like, how can 500 defeat 20,000? It's impossible. So we already know, these stories just doesn't make sense, full stop, from a historic standpoint. But somehow, I don't know why academia allows legendary stories to become part of history. Anyways, so, and unfortunately, a lot of people, when it comes to reading the Quran, because they don't place the Quran within inside of its historical and cultural and social context, they don't even, they come up with like a lot of erroneous stuff. Like, for example, I'm seeing now there's a trend of the Islamic dilemma. The Quran says that, the people of the book or the Bible has authority over the Quran. And this is used to befuddle, stump Muslims. And for me, it's like, I wish Christians, Abyssinian Christians even, I wish academia would be a bit more vocal. I wish whoever's got an interest in history would become a bit more vocal and stop allowing Muslims to have a monopoly on the narrative. Why do I say this? Because the Quran is part of Christian late antiquity. It's literature that was produced, created, formulated by Christians, but then later co-opted, corrupted even, mistranslated by Muslims. And to me, it's like, there ain't nothing wrong with the Quran. It's just the lens that you read the Quran under. What do I mean by this? The lens that people read the Quran under is via the tafsir, the exegesis by Muslims. They read the Quran under the translations of Muslims that are affected and infected by hadith culture. And it's like, that's not how you read it. That's not how you read the Quran at all. Like, any piece of literature, why are you really muddying the waters and starting to read it from that lens? It just doesn't make any sense to me, humbly speaking. So, for already, I'm like, listen, when you read the Quran, somebody's joined finally, but somebody's joined. Give me a second. I have to pull it up. When you read the Quran, you need to read it from what the actual letters, the words within inside of the Quran says. Somebody did join. You need to read it from what the actual words inside of the Quran states versus what Muslim translators or everybody else gives. So, case in point, yeah? I don't even have the time to do this. So let me just give you my translation of this. And it says here, have you not seen how your Lord dealt with those who turn their backs and magnify themselves where they find riches? Did he not make their labor go astray? And he sent against them a swarm of locusts, smiting them with a severe year from what has been decreed for them. And he made them like eaten straw or a crop blown by a violent wind. Destroyed. Basically. So anyways, for me, that's how I would read that particular surah. If you know this surah is Surah 105, Surah Al-Fil. And again, I can't wait to actually have these conversations with academics and scholars, because I was watching something to do with Gabriel Said Reynolds. And I don't know, can I even play that? I'll look for it anyway, and I'll see if I can play it. But basically in there, he kind of highlighted to the fact that, we might have to reevaluate how we do read Surah Al-Fil. And I'm like, finally. It's like, maybe we shouldn't be reading it from a literary point of view, i.e. the word feel there for the word elephant. You can read it in its literal sense, or you can read it in its symbolic or metaphorical sense, which could be applied to it. I'm like, why isn't anybody doing that? Let me see if I can actually put it onto him right now. Give me a sec. So crazy. I'm just here talking to myself. I love the interaction. Sometimes you guys got to come on in and interact, you know. Let's do this. See if it'll come on. There you go. Man like Professor Gabriel Said Reynolds. This is like one of my favorite scholars, to be honest with you. Shouts out to man like Vegeta if you're tuned in right now. All right, let's see if I can get
There's
this
a famous story told about the year of the Prophet Muhammad's birth, a year sometimes called the year of the elephant, because, according to this story, in that very year...
Also, let me know if you guys can actually hear this as well. Yeah, please let me know if you guys can hear this.
There was an attack by a man from the south of Arabia named Abraha with an elephant or elephants on the city of Mecca. The story sometimes speaks of, you know, how the lead elephant, sometimes given the name Mahmud, refused to enter into the city of Mecca because somehow he knew it was holy. The story says that God sent birds, maybe, or some scholars say a pestilence, to destroy the army of Abraha. Now, the story is a way of explaining, really, Quran chapter 105, which...
Okay, so let's just see this, right? There is a story that's used to explain Quran 105. Okay, like most people don't understand, these are two separate things. But when you read the Quran, you would believe it's one and the same, as though they came together. No, they're two separate things. There is the Quran, Surah 105, which came first, and then there was a story, i.e. exegesis, trying to explain that particular chapter. But you will learn. Let me just go through it.
Speaks of the people of the elephant and some sort of scheme. But the problem is there is no historical evidence for an attack on Mecca.
You hear that? The problem is there is no historical evidence. That's what I love, you know. When academia isn't scared to stand up against the standard Islamic narrative.
Abraha did exist. He did have military adventures, but not in the city of Mecca. So there's probably a better way to understand Quran 105 of some...
Ooh, hear that? There is probably a better way to understand, Quran, Surah 105.
Thing with symbolic language.
Something with symbolic language, and I'm just pissed.
There's a famous story told about the year of the Prophet Muhammad's birth.
I am pissed. When it cut out,
of something with symbolic language. There's a famous story told about historical evidence.
I was so upset when I was watching this, and I was like, "Go on, Gabriel! Finally, like you're breaking it down." And then he cuts it out. This is why I know I need to start interviewing these scholars, you know. Because he is saying exactly what I've been saying for however many years. That you don't read the Quran, Surah 105 in its literal sense. It needs to be read in its symbolic sense. And this is exactly what he says.
For an attack on Mecca, Abraha did exist. He did have military adventures, but not in the city of Mecca. So there's probably a better way to understand Quran 105 of something with symbolic language.
So, and I'm simply saying, I would love for my Muslims or anybody who's actually interested in these topics here to go back, reread that Surah 105, okay, and understand it within its symbolic language. As Gabriel says, he hasn't broken it down. Hopefully he might release a paper on this, but if you read it within its symbolic sense, the symbolic language that's employed in it, you will just see like it's basically like coming from Psalms. It literally reads like a psalm, full stop. And it's not talking about no Abyssinians, and it's not talking about, the people of the elephant. It's nothing to do with any of that. And as I say, like I just wish that some of us will actually go back and do the real scholarship. Because a person like me, who is African-centered in terms of my scholarship, I have to go back and actually reread these things because it's supposedly in relationship to Africans, i.e. Abyssinians. And then when we read it, it's like, oh no, it has nothing to do with Abyssinians or Africans, full stop. Even like the story when I'm like, okay, cool. There's the powerful story of the Negus and the first migration to Ethiopia. Like I'm like, yeah, cool, 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 cool. And then lo and behold, I read it and then I go into the history of this and I'm like, oh, okay, so no, these people didn't even go to Africa. Oh, what a bummer. As an African-centered scholar who is looking for Africanness, i.e. the continent of Africa, and it's not even there, but everybody else believes it's there. It's like, oh man, it's a bummer. But anyways, let me not even talk any more than that. Let's just read some of your comments and get you guys in with the link as well. Invite, copy. See, Midas here, I did this whole show for you. I'm just putting it out there, my guy. This whole show, you hollered and you're still not here. Yeah? And I'm here just waffling, just to keep the show alive when you're supposed to be here. Man, you're not a real one. Don't ever ask me for a show again. All right. Hopefully this should like speed you up to come on the show. Okay. Yep. Easy Band says, salute, peace and blessings. Becca has no historical records. Archaeology, 100% correct. So Muslims are guilty of protecting. They are the ones who corrupted the Injil. No, Muslims ain't guilty of corrupting the Injil. I'll say they're guilty of corrupting the Quran. Oh, project. No, I don't know. Okay, it says projecting. Arabic culture. I seen him speak before, but never really looked into him. Wow, this guy covers this. Yeah, he is. Listen, Gabriel Reynolds, scholar par excellence. If he was going to ask me who's my favorite scholar when it comes to Islam, this will be him here. Who do I learn the most from? This will be him here, 100%. Malak Akan is up in the building. What's good? Are you here to torment me again? Boom, 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 boom. Cool. So yeah, the link has been shared. You guys tell me what you guys want to discuss. Let me know in the comment section. I'm here. Jose, I see Jose Francis is in the building. 1 second, my G. It's going to be a madness because I have to put my Unify on, don't I? Give me a sec. I've got a specific show lined up for that. My Kemetic show. I can't wait to do a Kemetic show. Man says you're still beating a dead horse. I don't know, man. I'm just taking requests. I'm taking requests. We've got Akan up in the building. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can get him up. Okay, what's good, Akan?
What's good, man? What's good, man?
Hold on.
I just literally arrived, man. What's up? What's the topic about?
Give me a second. Let me make sure that you're coming into my headset. Speaker. Testing. Cool. Hold tight. 1 second. Everybody, can you hear? Can you guys actually hear Akan as well? Let me know if you guys can hear Akan. Waiting for you guys. Just drop me a 1 or something if you can hear Akan. Yeah, Akan, what's good, man? I don't even have any topics, to be honest with you. I'm just responding. Okay, hold on. Midas has actually messaged me. Let me see what he's saying. He says, running slightly late, driving back to London, will be in ASAP. Okay, cool. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what Midas was saying. And let's see. Okay. All right, cool. Been doing a deep dive on Abraha, historical Muhammad saga. Wanted to chop it up. Wanted to do a response to who was the historical Negus. So I was looking forward for him presenting some information on that. Cool. What else is he saying? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he is. Um, in regard to Sorophil, you said it was just something that we was made up. They saw an elephant mentioned and then realized the Ethiopians had elephants, so they connected the two together. Correct. I said incorrect. Sorophil is not made up. The story attached to Sorophil is made up, i.e., the Tafsir Surah writers created a story using Phil as the basis. Sorry, that is what I meant, says him. The narrative, the exegesis, is made up of Abraha coming with elephants, but also the connection. Correct. How's that correct? Okay, cool. This is him. This is where the connection lies. Ibn Ishaq gives a number of evidences for the story that claim is false, whether you agree with his evidence or not. He does give reasons. They are not just out of thin air, which you claim. As for the connection, the Quranic language fits with overall outline of the story. And I'm like, I'm not too sure what evidences he gives, apart from person A says this and person B says that. I've showed several times that different mufassirun, traditionalists, etc., have various narratives on the elephant story, neither of them aligning. So it's either all of them are making up stories or some of them are. And then we finish off with just at work. So, no, let me skip that. In regards to the evidence he mentions, an eyewitness, he also quotes numerous pre-Islamic poetry. Whether you agree with evidences or not, my point of contention here is that you say it was completely made up, which is not true. Rather, he does give evidences. In regards to different traditions of the story, I will give a third option or another way of looking at it. Numerous versions and variant traditions could also imply a shared historical core. The diversity of reports points not to fabrication but to oral transmission from multiple sources. Okay, so. I would assume it would be Ahmed Jalad or there's another one as well. I can't remember his name, but usually they come as a pair. Yeah. hmm Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, he's hard. He is hard because he's pushing things to the next level now. So what I mean by that, in academia, like we just think, oh, we thought. I'm speaking as academia. We thought uh, we can't hear. I can. Okay, one second. They, nah, they can't hear you. One second. Let me just see if I can. Let's see. Unify chat. 1 2 1 2.
Hello, hello. Chat, chat.
Yeah. All right.
Can you hear me?
Easy bands. Let me know if you can hear him now.
Can you hear me?
We'll see. We'll soon see. So where were we? Where were we?
No, you just give the man his props.
Yeah. Ah man. Turn him up. I don't even know how to do all of that, mate.
Or should I come out and come in again?
Nah, nah. Let me see if I could turn you up. Okay. So, talk. Say something.
Hello.
Yeah, you are turned up anyway. You're literally at the highest, so I can't turn you up.
You think it's on my end?
I think it's most probably me, but jump out and come back in again. Okay, let me read your questions up here. Okay, did Abraha believe Jesus was the Son of God? Okay, so I would say this: his inscriptions does not relate the Son of God. The Son of God. He calls Jesus the Messiah rather than calling him the Son of God. Now, in terms of contemporary or near contemporary or literature that mentions Abraha, they mention him as believing in the Son of God, etc. So it's very difficult to tell because there is the material culture, i.e., what's been left behind, versus what later literary sources actually say. So that's a difficult one to actually definitively give you an answer on.
What can I be heard?
I don't know. I gotta wait for the people in the background. So easy bands.
Yo, easy bands, big up, man.
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? Peace and blessings
on,
to
man.
everybody, man. Tell them what's up.
Was
I'm
good.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Be blessed, man. Come on, come on.
Nice, nice. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
The chat hear us?
Okay, nice, nice. So, yeah. So I don't know if you wanted to touch on that. Just go back and forth a little bit, maybe.
Can the chat hear us?
What's that?
The chat.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, the chat.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
But in the chat, I couldn't hear you when I was in the chat.
Okay.
I don't know if because you came back on, right? So I don't know if it fixed it. Just ask the chat.
Yeah. All right. Go through. Go on, easy bands.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I think that's Midas now. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let me see. I can't even add him. Here we go. Midas, is that you?
No, Michael Wayne.
Oh, you're Michael Wayne. Okay, cool.
Michael Wayne.
All right. Cool.
My guy.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you bless? Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Can you hear me, Wayne?
I don't hear Wayne.
All right.
You hear me though, easy bands, innit?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Cool. Let's go. Easy bands, you was about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want.
Yeah, he cut out as well. Yeah, you're cutting out.
Yeah, you're cut out, easy bands. Right, the gremlins are really trying to get at us today.
And I heard you just responded and said basically that you maybe you said it's inconclusive, right? That's your opinion.
I would say that the material culture, i.e., his inscriptions, are very definite by not referring to Jesus as the Son of God, rather as the Messiah. But we also have literary sources, i.e., from Christians and others. Christians, whether it's Ethiopian Christians or I believe it's Syriac Christians, Byzantine Christians, that do, make mention of, him believing in the Son of God, or that being around.
Yeah. So your position is basically that it's inconclusive in your opinion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My only thing is that it depends, right? I would say that yeah, he did believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God because that's what the Bible teaches and that's the tradition.
I would say in terms of what I think, I definitely do think he believed in his heart, or said that. I do believe. Okay, let's see. I definitely do think he thought that Jesus was the Son of God.
Why? Because of scripture, because of prophecy, like Isaiah.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more to that why than just that. It's just because he omits using the Son of God, and I think he does that for a political reason,
Yes.
because he's getting the Jews and others involved, and that was a contentious point within the early 6th century. So I think he was being very, strategic and pragmatic by removing the Son of God statement. Not to say he himself doesn't believe it.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
just
but wouldn't that go
took my point out of my words.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wouldn't
out of
that
my
be
mouth.
contradictory to his Christian belief separately for basically making things easier for one group and making it not annoying but kind of for another group, because the Jews, they had a different view from the Christians. So even though it was political, like what was its gain for the theology?
Just because there were people around that didn't believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ, it wasn't strictly just the Jews. It was even even some sects that came out of Christianity that would be called heretics, right? So there are some people that didn't believe that Jesus Christ was divine. And so what Callum is saying is that similar to what Muhammad did when he was around Mecca, bringing the tribes together and, even integrating some of their traditions like circumambulating the Kaaba, etc. He did that for political reasons. And similarly, Abraham did what he did by referring to Jesus as the Messiah for political reasons. I don't know if you get what we're saying now. Huh?
Yeah.
And the chat hear us. They're saying the volume. They're saying turn up the volume.
Yeah, the chat's still on here. Yeah, Cam, what's going on, bro?
What's good, my chick?
Man, what's going on, man? I told you Caleb would sign up for a couple weeks.
Yo, the chat can't hear us, but you guys heard what I said, right?
Yeah.
I'm teasing you, Caleb, man.
I know.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Also, you heard everything I said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you, man. You're
Just
breaking up a bit now as we're speaking.
No, I said bet. I was just checking. So what do you guys think about it?
Obviously, I'm gonna have my ideas and thoughts on the situation. But I do hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying. That could be a possibility as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not discarding the political reasons with Abraham. That's definitely included. Get me? But I would think theology, a bit of theology as well. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you may differ on that.
So what theology do you think he had?
Basically, he believed in an earthly Christ. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the Son of God, it's got some baggages attached to it. So I think he was what Callum's saying, but adding the theology. Yeah.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check
Mic
1
check,
2 1 2.
mic check, mic check.
Yeah.
Same way. Hold on. Let me
Hey, your mic is going
let me
mad.
get off and come back on. All right.
How's my mic?
What about my mic, Callum?
This might cause an echo though. Testing. 1 2 3. Can you hear us? Lord have mercy. I don't know. Is there a delay or something? What's going on?
The
All
devil is a
Anyways,
liar.
go ahead. Go ahead, I can.
Yeah, man. What do you call it? So, speaking on Surah Feel, got an idea on who the birds and what the birds is.
Okay.
It's my hypothesis, but it's kind of in line, isn't it? Because if we take away the literal understanding from the text and take it like symbology and whatever, allegorically, then if we're taking it on an allegorically level, then that would be the Persians, because the Persians deal with the emblem of a bird. You know what I'm saying? So, and baked clay, though that kind of item was used as a slingshot in war back in them days. So the bird doesn't necessarily need to be a literal bird. This could be talking about a people. In my opinion, I'll say it's the Persians.
Okay. So for me, I would say that we need to look at the methodology.
Yeah,
if you want to translate
definitely
that, any surahs or anything like that, I think the first place to start with is the literary or the literal. So what I mean by that is the literary. The what does the words on the page actually say?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to know that, you go in, you utilize a lexicon, and you go through word for word to see what it says.
Yeah.
Okay.
How I came to this conclusion.
Grammar and go through it word by word to see if you are correct also.
Yeah. How I came to this conclusion was basically I based it off when Solomon was talking to his armies, companions, and the birds and that. because some Islamic scholars, they don't take the birds as a literal bird. Some scholars say that that was an office within King Solomon's army. So when he had the jinns, the men, and the birds, these are all offices. These ain't literal, you know what I mean? So I based my methodology of that understanding to come to that conclusion that okay, that we might be dealing with symbology, allegory here, you know what I mean? So the Quran does say there's some clear verses and there's verses that's allegory. So I'm utilizing that methodology to understand, bring out the goods in this verse, you know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Just want to check if my mic is working. Is it good now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right.
Yeah,
So
go.
yeah, as I was saying before, I have given my own translation of what this verse actually says.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it?
You hear me though, Wayne?
Yeah, I heard that still can still, man.
We saying, does that sound?
I was gonna say, yeah, I get it from your angle, yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, in terms of to strip out the whole literary literary discourse, yeah, on the verse here, or at least what's been claimed to be the literal conversation of the text here. I think it would be kind of like I find that hard to do because fair enough. I know from Buchanan's angle, he's saying it's all made up in it, but we still have at least a tradition that this is the origin or this
Yeah,
is
no, I'm definitely not gonna edition.
yeah
I'm definitely not. That's just my take on the thing. You get me? I won't
yeah
discard it because I weren't there at the end of the day. But
yeah
if you're gonna ask me,
yeah
that might be my take on the view still. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of
yeah
the day, I don't believe King Solomon spoke to literal bird. Like he can't bad up a bird because it took long to come to the congregation. And the wordplay that's being used, it only applies to humans. So that's my take, you know what I mean? So
No, I
yeah.
get that opinion still. I get that
So
opinion still. I hear you still.
so let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this though, yeah, because we have to separate the Quran from exegesis. Okay, those are two different things. Would we all agree? Quran and exegesis are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends on
Yeah.
how you may be reading the text. So you could be reading it from a symbology, allegorically stance, you know what I'm saying? Not literal.
That's cool.
So when it kind of goes
That's
into
cool.
that realm, there's gonna be a
So
forced exegesis by accident, should I say?
so we have the Quran. Yeah, Surah Al-Fil. It says what it says. That's one thing.
Can
Then we have a story that says something completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw M Cars in
From
the chat. Can you hear us? He's saying we can't hear him.
he should be able to hear you now. I think it's only when I switch over.
oh, Asar's in the chat? Yo, come on, Asar.
Big
Jump
him
on the
up, man.
panel,
Big
brother.
up, man.
So the story is something completely separate. The story comes after the Quran. The Quran is first, and then the stories come after. Would we should all be in agreement with that, right?
Oh man, I
No,
don't know about that, mate.
no, I'm not agreeing.
I'm Muslim
Okay.
in it, so
Let me do it simply. Okay.
Go.
Yeah.
Where do you get the story of the elephant from?
Well, according to the sources, I think you even read that out in your when you in your conversation with Midas. There is it comes from the pre-Islamic poetry. The claim is it comes from pre-Islamic poetry, and also
Where do you let me ask you this question? Where do you get it from? Where have you heard that story from?
from Islamic tradition, innit?
yeah.
From Islamic tradition. So does the
Ibn
Islamic
Ashar,
tradition come first,
yeah. But
or does the Quran come first?
If
It's
you're
pretty
talking
simple.
about written
that's a
form,
tricky question.
if you're yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're
That's a
talking
tricky
about
question
written
because
form, that's that, then you're correct. But if you're talking about it being a narrative, we can't really date it to when it was written down because the narrative could have existed before the written. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
It's quite easy. All you have to do is trace the isnad. It's not
Yeah,
rocket science.
again,
Trace the isnad.
again, when you say trace this Nadia, we're aware of that. When
So
Ibn
what
Ibn
isnad?
gives,
What do you mean isnad? Because we're getting these stories from Ibn Ishaq. So
he doesn't always have it isnad.
okay, I beg you pull up the isnad.
I'm not doing
Saying
nothing. I'm
follow
not
the
doing
whole
nobody's.
chain. Yeah.
Hold on, let me go into
You don't
my.
need to
Let
learn
me
now. I
go
ain't doing
into my.
nobody's homework for none of you guys. Yeah, I'm here to get you guys to actually pick up books and learn and read.
He like grab
Okay.
that. It's not. So who has the chain from Muhammad to this gentleman?
There is no chain. There is no chain from when
It's got
when
to
Ibn
be.
Ishaq,
How did you
Because
get the
Muhammad
story?
never narrated this story.
pardon?
Muhammad
Yeah.
never narrated this story at all.
Hey, you
No,
got the
That's what
story
I'm
from
telling.
the Sahaba, so it's got to be a chain from the Isnad.
no. When Ibn Ishaq, when he sometimes in some cases he might give an isnad, but for, a lot of times he'll just say, "I got this from I heard this person said this," but particularly to the story. Particularly to his story, he mentions an eyewitness that was there, number one. And number two, he says, I think it kind of even read it from that lady, Angelica, what was her name? Knitworth?
Neureth.
Newark. She mentions it as well. It comes from, again, the claim is that it comes from Islamic, pre-Islamic poetry. There was a time when, and they were writing about this year of the elephant.
So he's got an Isnad. He's got a chain. So who is
No,
the witness?
the eyewitness that Ibn Ishaq mentions, I think his name was Nafil. Nafil. Sorry, one second. Let me see if I can find this.
Well, the chain's not in the book. I'm looking at the book now. Where can we find the
No, I
chain?
changed that in the book. Changed that in the book for this specific situation. It's on page 20. If you go to page 28, I can. Yeah.
20 what?
26. Let me see if we can get up.
I'm on 26.
Yeah, if you go down, hold on one second. Let me get over my computer so it can be much easier. Are you on 26? Yeah.
What
If you go
the
down to end the page,
the
end of the
life of
page.
Muhammad? What the life of Muhammad?
You talking about
Yeah.
Arahik al-Maktoum?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, if you go down to the end of the page, yeah.
It's in the storage. I'd have pulled it out and we'd have went
Okay.
there.
I'm in 26. Yeah, go on. Page 26.
If you go down to the end of the page,
Yeah, at the bottom of it. Yeah.
yeah, you see where it says, and then God sent upon them birds from the sky like
And
swallows.
God sent upon them birds from the sea like swallows. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
You keep reading, and it says each bird carried 3 stones like peas and lentils, one on its beak and 2 between its claws. Now, if you go further down, yeah, it says, and when he saw,
Okay, they withdrew in flight by the way they came, crying out for Nufail. But that's not Isnad though.
no, it's not. It's not in the I'm saying it's an eyewitness.
Okay.
He's claimed that
Okay.
an eyewitness was there.
Okay.
That's his claim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who related this story?
Ibn Ishaq.
Ibn Ishaq, Isaac.
Yeah.
So Ibn Ishaq.
Ibn Ishaq. Ishaq. Say Ishaq.
Ishaq. That's right.
Golly.
So Brother Haq related this story, and how many Sahaba agreed with him on it?
Brother, I just told you it's not it's he's an historian. He's not using in this situation. He's not using change of narration. He's just a historian. There's a difference between you're thinking of.
Is it like a weak hadith, or is it just a point in the story?
You're thinking the difference between
So, hold on.
hadith and history.
What page was this? What page was this? You said.
I can't even find this chain Callum's talking about, but I'm just gonna use a bit of what I understand with the situation. So basically, we're gonna have different isnads, shall I say, because there's different stories regarding the year of the elephant. So
No. I need to go back to what you were saying though. Like, wait, what did you just say? That there was an eyewitness.
He said there was an eyewitness at the event that he seen.
Bro, I heard it and I was like,
You missed that one. He even changed my whole paradigm with whatever I brought in. Like,
bro. I, I just want to say, yeah, in the most nicest way, yeah, it's BS or what you're saying, but still,
Oh,
can you tell me where did you read that again?
Callum,
Yes, 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 yes.
Page 27.
picky Callum, you know.
Yes, yes.
He
Please,
picking
please say
noses.
it again. Please say it again. Say it again one more time. Yes,
Are you
again.
saying page 27?
No, just say it again. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we say it
I
again.
was trying to say it in the nicest way. I didn't know how to say
Cool.
nice.
So now let's read page 26. Yeah.
So where are you reading from? Page
I'm gonna
26 or
tell you.
28?
No, just wait. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah. You go to page 26.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I do one better. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen if I can share my screen.
What?
So everyone can see.
How can what? Are you on your phone, Wayne?
Yeah.
How can you share on screen? Then I'll be
I've
killing people every day. Then.
Man woke me out my slumber with an eyewitness. And again, yeah, I don't know how you can tell me that Ibn Ishaq isn't comes before the Quran. This is wow. This is incredible.
Who said that? Who said
He didn't
that?
live at that
Who said
time.
that?
I asked the
You
question,
studied that.
what came first? What came first, the story or the Quran?
Fam, the
Yes, you're not
story.
understanding me.
You know what the story's before.
What I'm saying is, yeah, I'll make myself clear. What I'm saying is, yeah, is that you always use Ibn Ishaq, right, as evidence, right?
Okay.
I am not saying whether what Ibn Ishaq said is correct or wrong. All I'm saying is, according to Ibn Ishaq, yeah, he's saying this information. He's saying it appears to seem that an eyewitness was there.
Nufail
At
bin
the
Habib.
elephant. That's what he says. I'm just saying what Ibn Ishaq is saying. No, I'm not saying I'm not giving it.
Where is that? Where is that?
After one second, I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see it. So it's not like I can.
Do you
Yeah,
want
even
to
talking about the elephant Mahmoud. Come on, Callum. I don't know how you skip this bit.
That's the best
Yeah.
bit.
You guys keep talking and I'll put on the screen. Just wait 1 second.
That's the best bit. I just can't wait for you lot to start catching up and actually doing some research.
right?
Because that should ring alarm bells.
Look, Abraha's elephant. His name.
It's called
All of the names. Mohammed. All of that. That don't really faze me.
Wait, why is it that the Abyssinians, yeah, have this triconsonantal root for something? They have it for their elephant. They have it for the supposed general or the person who was in charge of, going into Mecca. He's also called Muhammad. And in the same year, the Islamic prophet Muhammad is born. What is going on here?
Wait,
It just
repeat
sounds
that again.
very
Repeat
strange.
everything you just said again. Repeat that.
Strange.
Repeat that again. So for the three
So
more
the Abyssinians, they come in during their time, and they now introduce the triconsonantal root, MHMD, or is that triconsonantal or is it four consonants?
That's
You brought up
triconsonant.
3 periods. You said that. You said the elephant. Yeah.
The elephant.
Second one.
Yeah. Then they also have a prophet called Muhammad.
Yeah, and then the other Muhammad came.
And then Muhammad, your Muhammad, i.e. the Islamic Muhammad, is also born during this time period. Wow, the Abyssinians are doing a lot with this whole Muhammad word or Mahmud word. Wow.
Down to South Arabia, though. Don't forget about the Jews. Got inscriptions, yo.
It might even be Abyssinians as well. That's another story for another day.
I told you about the King Majasser and company.
I don't know.
So yeah. But anyways,
remember the tuba. Remember the tuba. What was the kings called in Himyar? Tuba, innit?
Bro,
yeah.
I doubt the tuba was Habshi.
I would say to you that you're gonna have to step out of Islamic literature and go into historical information.
Yeah, but the Himyarites are not documented as being Oxumites.
I don't know. Go and check.
No,
Go
I
and
have
check.
They may not be the
the
one.
I don't
name,
think you
the
have check.
title Tuba. We've got inscriptions of that. That's actually that name you find in the Quran. That's actually a title of the Himyarite kings.
Say go and check, man. Go and check.
Boy,
Go
man,
check.
I beg
Come
to
back to me.
differ, man. I beg to differ,
Come
man.
back to me. Come back to me. I don't know. I'm asking you to check. I don't know the answer.
No,
Just
I
go.
have checked. That's what I'm trying to tell
Okay.
you. That
Cool.
the Himyarites, they may have been the same in color and like a Somalian Ethiopian, but they're like the Somali's not Habashi. You know what I'm saying? The Himyarite, they're not Habashi. They have Tubas as their kings. We never in history have Oxumite people having the title as Tuba. So that literally knocks out the argument that or the hypothesis that the Jews or whatever they could have been. No doubt they could have been. I'm not even going to say they weren't. But the Himyarite kingdom, that was not Ethiopian, like Habashi.
Okay. Okay. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying okay to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were we? Where were we? Was somebody going to show me an eyewitness or something?
Yeah, where's the
Yeah.
eyewitness at?
It's on page 26. He said it. I
Page
hear it, man.
26.
I'm not even going
I'm
to say
trying to
he's
think.
wrong or right.
I'm trying to pick up on the screen. It'll be probably.
I think we need to like do like a whole history lesson to figure out what is
No, this
considered to
great.
be an eyewitness.
All I'm saying is, it's not me that's saying it. I'm just saying what Ibn Ishaq says.
Literally, I hear it.
I know. I hear you. I hear you.
I'm not saying.
But you can't
I'm not saying I'm
downplay it
there.
and use these works at the same time, though, Callum.
Exactly, don't make
And I'm
sense.
It
just gonna
don't make
and
sense.
I'm just gonna tell you that Osaric M. Carr came to my yard and he saw that in my bathroom, yeah, I don't bath with water, I bath with 50-pound notes. Yeah. He
No,
has
but you're
seen with
saying
his
that.
own eyes, yeah, 1 million in my tub, and I'm just there bathing in that.
But you're saying the narrative. If
Like
I
Ibn
said
Ishaq
it,
is saying the narrative.
it would have to be me saying, yo, I saw MK, eyewitness, went to Callum's house. I would have to be that person. Because Ibn Ishaq wasn't
Okay.
there.
Okay, Michael Wayne went to Asaim Car and he saw, yeah, with his own eyes, yeah, the Egyptian gods giving Asaim Car gold bars like every single time he made dua. Gold bar, gold bar, gold bar, gold bar. And Michael Wayne was the eyewitness. Callum wrote this.
And that's how we got the song Ballin'. That is the that's our document.
Hey, listen, let me read this though. Let me read this because I think this is what you're not talking about, okay? Cool. So I'm gonna read here. Abdul Muttalib. Then let go the knocker of the door of the Kaaba and went off with the Quraysh companions to the mountaintops, where they took up defensive positions, waiting to see what Abraha would do. When he occupied Mecca, in the morning, Abraha prepared to enter the town and made his elephant ready for battle and drew up his troops. His intention was to destroy the temple and then return to the Yemen. When they made the elephant, its name was Mahmud, face Mecca, Nufail ibn Habib came up to its flank and taking hold of its ear said, "Kneel, Mahmud, or go straight back whence you came, for you are in God's holy land." He lets go of its ear and the elephant knelt and Nufail made off at the top speed for the top of the mountain. The troops beat the elephant to make it get up, but it would not. They beat its head with iron bars and then struck blah blah blah. I can carry on, but I'm going to stop there. So are you saying to me that in that narrative, that means Nufail was the eyewitness to this? And if so, why are we not saying that Abraham was the eyewitness or the rest of the soldiers were the eyewitness?
Michael Wayne.
What's your point? Sorry, I just got back. Yeah, what's your point? Sorry, Callum?
So
are we saying that Nufail is an eyewitness because he was present in the story?
Yeah, you missed. Okay, maybe, 1 second. I'm just gonna. I think I might have got it up. I think I might have got it up.
So let me answer Kalam's question. The story would have to come before the Quran was written because the things have to be acted out. Then your Quran is written after the story.
And that's if the story is true.
Right.
Wait, I don't know what we're waiting for. I'm gonna stop the wait. Oh no, you're presenting something. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Here we go.
Again, I'll make it clear. These are not my words. All I'm saying is you use Ibn Ashaq
Blow up your picture a little
to
bit,
formulate
Richard.
your arguments. I'm saying, according
Blow up
to
your
Ibn
picture a little
Ashaq,
bit so we can get
the
to the
time when he
spot
was
that
there.
you at so we can see it clear.
Can you guys see that clearly?
Yeah, it looks clear, but it's far away. If you use your plus, yeah.
Oh, it's gone.
There you go.
So, damn, one. What have I done?
Where's Midas at, man?
You're right here. Can you guys see?
Yep.
They were driven the flight by the way they came, crying out for Nafil bin Habib to guide them on the way to Yemen. And when he saw the punishment which God brought down on them, Nafil said, "Where can one flee when so when he saw the punishment which God had brought down on them, Nafil said, where can one flee when God pursueth El Ashram is conquered, is the conquered, not the conqueror." And it's got his speech here. What he says. Nafil also said, "Our greetings, Wadi Dina. You rejoice, our eyes this morning. Your fuel seeker came to us last night, but we had naught to give him. If you had seen, but you will not see, Dana. But we saw on Al Hassad side. Oh damn! It's come off now. It's come off now. It's come off. It's gone. 1 second.
Okay, cool. All right. So, what is your point, though?
Let's go. Let's come back. Let's come back.
I can read it out for you because we're wasting too much time. So, what is the point you want to make here? Can you hear me?
So yeah, it would appear that it's not the case. And there it go right in the book. Back the Abyssinian in order to preserve their state and permanence or I can't see. It looks like permanence or something. Did you not see how your Lord dealt with the owners of the elephant? Did he not reduce their guilt to sheer terror? For the uniting of the chorus, all that stuff in there. All roads lead to what Column said right now.
I'm gonna move on because I don't think we're getting anywhere with this.
So my mic cut out. My mic cut out. Yeah. So the only point I'm making here is that in a lot of other places, Ibn Ashaq will normally say, "I heard this" or "I saw this." All I'm saying in this regard, Ibn Ishaq is quoting an eyewitness who saw these things. That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying that Nufel was an eyewitness?
Well, if it says if we go according to what's being said, then yeah, why wouldn't he be? If he was there at the event.
What makes him an eyewitness?
Because according to this, he was there at the event.
Okay.
He's not saying like other people are saying like or they heard what happened. He was there.
Okay. So then would you also say that Abraha is sorry, let me just turn off my mic. So would you also say that Abraha is also an eyewitness?
Yeah, of course he was there. If we accept this, if we happen to accept the story, yeah. So what's an eyewitness? She told me. So Nafil say he wasn't present. He was present.
Yo, Callum, I think your mic is on mute, bro.
Yeah, it is on mute. They were saying there's a mad echo. Okay, cool. So you do realize, yeah, Nufel isn't an eyewitness. How can I put it? Ibn Ishaq is not receiving the information directly from Nufel saying, I am an eyewitness, this is what I saw.
I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I'm not saying Ibn Ishaq is getting it from the eyewitness.
I know you're not saying that. But I'm saying to you that you have to understand that Nufel is not an eyewitness just because he is mentioned in a story. For example, you can hear jinns. You can hear jinns, stories about jinns talking, about other human beings talking. Just because they're in a narration doesn't mean that they're eyewitness to it.
So you're saying because he's so you're saying he was, according to the story, he was there, but he's not an eyewitness. Is that what you're saying?
According to the story, he's just another actor in the story. He's just another person in the story that supposedly said this. Just like Abraha is another actor in the story, a protagonist, an antagonist inside of the story, and then they're saying they said such and such and such things.
Okay.
It can't be the case.
I think what you're trying to say is that to correct me if I'm wrong, is you're saying that he's an eyewitness that cannot be corroborated for, right?
I wouldn't even call it an eyewitness. We're literally just making up names. We're putting names and we're putting words into their mouth saying that they said certain things. Like there is no documentation to say that they was there.
Were the disciples an eyewitness to Jesus?
I'm not even going into that stuff, man.
No, just a simple question. I just want to know, yes or no.
I'm not going there. I plead the fifth.
It's the exact same thing.
I plead the fifth. I'm not religious, but I'm pleading the fifth because
I'm not religious. I'm not religious. I'm not religious.
I know, but that's another can of fish here that I don't want to open up.
It's the same. It's the exact same question. Were the disciples eyewitnesses?
That's something else that I'm not even trying to open up right now. That's for a Christianity show. Because
no, I'm not trying to go into the like. I just want to. It's a simple question.
Okay, all right. So the simple answer is which disciple are you talking about?
Let's say who's a disciple that can. Peter. The 12 disciples. The 12 disciples. What are the eyewitnesses?
I would say
I understand how the question is.
the question is, yeah. Okay, let's do it like this. The 12 disciples, right? Let's use Peter. Peter. He may be an eyewitness to Jesus. Do we have anything of Peter saying anything?
Here you go. Peter was there when Jesus supposedly walked on water. What proof do you have that Jesus walked on water?
Again, to keep saying this, you guys think
None.
maybe you guys think religious or I'm even Muslim. I'm simply saying, yeah. I'm
simply saying it doesn't qualify as an eyewitness.
All I'm saying is, yeah, your claim is, yeah, is that the Surah al-Fil was just you have this verse now, and you have this story that was made up, right? Correct? And they've somehow connected this made-up story to the Surah. That's what you're saying, yeah? You use Ibn Ashak as a means, yeah, to substantiate this other story, like this other story of this Christian Muhammad, right? Yeah. All I'm saying is, yeah, according to Ibn Ashak, yeah, he tells a story, yeah, and he also mentions a specific individual, yeah, who was there at the time, according to Ibn Ashak. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that the person's an eyewitness.
Oh my!
Or we have an eyewitness account.
I'm not again. You just misunderstood. You just.
No, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I
don't think you are though. What I'm saying is, is that I'm not substantiating whether the story is true or not. All I'm saying is, we're happy to use Ibn Ashak when it suits our this narrative, innit? What I'm saying, according to Ibn Ashak, if you want to call it a story, because I know you don't believe it. What he's produced, he's saying that there's an individual who who his name, according to him, is known, who says he saw the event. That's all I'm saying. If you don't want to call it, let's call it whatever. But that's all I'm saying. These are the facts that's in the story. That's what I'm saying. That's my only point. And I'm saying it's not just. Again, you would probably argue that it's all made up. Fair enough. I'm not arguing whether it's made up or it's not made up or whether it's all I'm saying is what Ibn Ashak said. That's what I'm saying.
So let me ask you this, brother.
Yeah, go on.
Are there strong hadiths?
No, this is
a story, but the question is, are there strong hadiths? This is Al Maktoum. I have the book, but are there strong hadiths? Is the question.
This is before the Prophet, so I couldn't even say this is before the Prophet. It's not hadith.
We covered that it's not hadith. The question is, are there strong hadiths?
For what?
For certain circumstances, like when the Sahaba agree upon an issue, is that considered to be a strong hadith? Yes or no?
If the Sahaba agree on an issue,
yes. You know what the hadiths are strong and weak are, right?
I don't think that makes a strong hadith. I think it's a case of when
So you do know what a strong hadith is, and you have your opinion about what it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's strong hadiths. Are there weak hadiths?
Yeah, sure, 100%.
Right. So the weak hadiths we tend not to allow to flourish because there's not enough witnesses for, right?
Sure.
So if it's like a weak hadith,
there's other criteria, but go on.
Well, the criteria is that all five Sahaba in particular agree upon something. So if you weren't familiar with the fiqh of that particular method, it would be when the Sahaba agree upon something and you need a certain number of Sahaba to agree upon something to make it strong or to confirm it as weak.
I think that's I don't think that's hadith though. I think that's more like
no, that's hadith. And fiqh, is method.
That's not hadith.
Yeah, well, if you know, because my partner Jamal Jamaldeen Zaraboza wrote the Fiqh as-Sunnah. He's the one who reprised it. And he was down in Detroit, and he was out here in Colorado and Boulder with us when he did it. That's the method. But when it comes to that, if we know that there's certain stories that are weak, it's difficult to substantiate those stories because there's not enough witnesses or there's not enough information to call it strong. So if there's not enough witnesses for this story, or it appears to be weak, or we don't have any real methods to show that it's true, what would your method be to substantiate it as truth?
Again, I'm saying I'm not making it's like I've said for the fifth time. I'm not making a truth or false claim. I'm not saying I believe this or what Callum is saying is wrong. I'm not even going that far. All I'm saying is we use Ibn Ashaq to strengthen whatever agenda we want to push or whatever. All I'm saying is, according to Ibn Ashaq, he named an individual who was a witness to the event. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything more. Like you guys might think I'm saying something more, or I'm saying something. I don't know. Something else. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not giving the truth. I'm not trying to. Yeah, that's it.
What up, big dog? Jose?
What's up?
Jose?
What's up, Kalam?
What's up, my G?
When you gonna throw this horse in the grave? Because you're beating a dead horse that done turned to dust. Leave the horse alone.
Come to the ship.
Throw it away, Kalam. Throw it away. Because the brother already stuttering and stammering. Throw it away, Kalam. Bring on the saw, bring me on, and let's talk about
I'm waiting for you guys to present something, man.
Say that again.
I said I'm waiting for you guys to present something, man. I'm bored out here.
I'm gonna do a series of lectures. We're gonna do some Bible lectures.
No,
we're gonna do some. We need to. I
need
to show some things from the. It's going to be Kemet oriented, but it's going to be Bible stories.
1 second. Let me see if I've got this. I got this. Let me see. Can I even move it? Yeah. See, this is the website. Yeah. I'm so pissed. The whole article just went missing. But we're going to have this website up and running. I can't wait. Yeah. So for all of those of you guys who want, the whole Abyssinian Islamic stuff, it's all going to be on this website. I may not even be doing any YouTube videos on Titans TV on it. All that information will be found right here, yeah, on Abyssinian Islam.
Oh, damn.
Where are we?
Oh, man. Kalam, man, I got some nice papers to read. I got a good copy of the Papyrus of Annie, man. We could go over all of that, man.
I love the Papyrus of Annie. Now when you're ready, let's go.
Yeah, we need to show them how to use it. It's a psychological book that takes you through transforming your person and your soul, making you correct, from transforming to a golden Haru on down, all the good stuff. This is the psychological book you need.
Yeah, but this is a recent one from Faulkner.
Yeah, Thursday I may have a free slot.
But listen,
Thursday, I'm off on Thursdays too.
8 p.m.
Just email me the details and let me know.
And what we doing? What we saying? Are we reading hieroglyphs, or are we talking around the Book of the Dead? What are we doing?
Well, I'm at the hieroglyphic man, so you might want to ask Star about that. But I could just read the regular English. I can recognize some of it. It's the primary source. So we could go through the glyphs and we could read the English translation. It has the pictures
All
of the glyphs on it, so it's a primary source.
Okay.
So
We
bring
so
something in there, Jose, because if not, I think it's overdue for Kalam want the lesson so that the stuff starts to spread. Nobody wants to break down the lessons in there or the understanding. I'm ready to give them the understanding. We'll use the English for that because if we spend all day trying to translate each line for you, you're not going to get the lesson. When we
That's true.
when we
no,
can break
but what
down
I'm
the
saying
lesson.
is, what I'm
But
saying is
if
it
you
has the
bring
medu lecture in it, so we can
no,
always go through some of it.
if you bring Medu Netra, we're going to study the Medu Netra, whatever you bring. If I present a lesson, it's going to be a lesson where they can understand the English and read something. You know what I'm saying? So when I start, if I say, and our set got upset and she was
Yeah, well, I
aggravated
have
at men, then we're going to talk about why she's
yeah,
aggravated at men, how
yeah,
that applies to you as a person, and why
yeah.
this is important to you when you read
I'm,
these
I'm,
mythos
well,
and you.
we have both in our stars, so it's not a problem. We have
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
We have both. And I found
Yeah,
a
but
passage where they
they
talk.
haven't gotten the other yet. It's just, it's one thing to read Medu Netra, and it's one thing to break stuff down in Medu Netra, but when you're given a lesson, you need it in a language that everybody understands. So we don't have
Well, I
time to
have the
train
English there, so it's not a
on
problem.
that.
I have the English there.
You feel me? No,
It
I'm
has the
saying
translation.
if you want to do the Medu Netra one, we'll break something down in Medu Netra. But if we do a
Yeah.
lesson, we're going to give a
Mm-hmm.
lesson, which it'll be different.
All right, we could do all of that. It have room to do all of that.
Yeah,
We could do all of that. It has everything there, so we could do that.
for sure, for
And,
sure.
and it was cited, so I guess it's a pretty good translation. From a little I read, it seems like a decent translation. So whenever you're ready, Kalam,
Yeah,
just
Kalam.
let me know, and I'll present what I have, and we can just talk about it, and maybe do an hour or so about it.
You already know we can do it like. Hold on. Where's my thing? You already know we can go straight from the hieroglyphs.
Right to the guard.
Yeah, right
We've
there.
done this on many occasions.
So many occasions. This is the papyrus of Ani, the first. I believe this is the first plate or the
Well,
first
that's the museum,
layer.
right?
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
yep.
the museum website, right?
It is on the museum website, but I've got my own downloaded version of it.
Yeah. But I have actually a
Yeah.
book with Faulkner and about 4,000 scholars breaking everything down
Yep.
plate by plate.
We can go straight to the Faulkner afterwards. Let me just go
Look,
click
Ma'am,
on.
Mit, Attempt, Asar, M, all that. I'm reading the second line. Look,
Which one?
I
Yeah.
can't even see
second
it
line
yet.
from the back. Yeah, I'm already.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. Straight away, I can
Yeah,
tell you
man,
exactly what
we
you're
need to
reading.
go to that because I was reading it and
Golly.
I found it very interesting
So
because
yeah, whenever.
apparently in the papyrus of Ani, I think they say when Nefer is presented into Asar.
Say again.
I said I think when I'm reading, if I was reading correctly, in the papyrus of Ani that I have, they didn't say that when Nefer was presenting Ani to Asar, or am I or did I get that wrong?
Was he
Nefer was
presenting?
presenting Annie to Asar. Heru, I believe, is
Who's
presenting him to Asar.
When Nefer wasn't presenting Ani to Asar, or did I read something wrong there?
spell it? Spell what you're saying.
When Nefer, I
Oh,
might be
When
getting
Winnefer,
Nefer.
Winnefer. That is Asar.
Okay, that is a star, right?
Yeah,
when Nefer is Asar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me for embarrassing myself because I really didn't know that.
No, it's okay.
It's cool.
But you see, I learned something new. That's
Hey.
obviously, but,
So yeah, we can go.
So look at the line right before the one Kalam has lit up, right? There's the boat. Necha, Kenti.
all right. Yeah. I see,
That's a little broken up. I thought I. So it's Kenti, foremost of the Western, basically.
yeah. Kenti Amenti.
Ma'a, Mit, Atep, in peace, Asar. Go to that right after that. So you see Kenti, you know who Kenti is.
Yeah.
Foremost of the Westerners.
the spirit
True
of
voice.
Asa Ani.
There it is. And you can
Yeah.
see Ani at the bottom. You see the the you see the Irida eye, and then you see the it looks like a hawk vulture, and then you have the N, you have the plurals, and then you have the two reed leaves for ye, and ni.
Right.
Hawk vulture ah, wave of water in plural. So it's gonna go anui with the reed leaves.
Right.
Ani.
But it says Asa. It actually says the car of Asa army. Not so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
To the spirit Enka and Asa
You
Ani.
probably haven't seen a saw written like that before.
Is that Asa or was it?
A saw.
Same difference.
Wasir is like the W, but because Coptic has the U sound, we know it's a saw. And because the Greeks put the A with the dot over the top, we know it's got that ow or a O type sound. So it's saw. Yep.
And I learned there's two different armies. One with the I, which is this one, and one with the Y, which is a different one.
Right.
Well, I didn't know that either. I learned that too.
And you can spell metal nature words in more than one way.
Yes, man.
Well,
Yes, man.
obviously, right?
They,
Obviously, right?
I done seen my aunt spelled like three different methods, depending on what period.
So when
So,
we're reading this, we're starting from the we start from
so
the
we'll
left going to the right, correct? In this instance, right?
from
From
the
right
right
to left,
going to
because
the
we're
left.
reading into the characters' faces.
From the
So
right to the left.
you see him giving praise in the very first line that's read. It's like dua, dua
You
ra.
are, but that says Amin Ra, not so.
Okay,
Nope.
That doesn't say Amin Ra.
tell us
Nope.
It looks like it says Amin Ra.
where you see the amen at.
If you go down next to the deity, that is not the Amen symbol.
No, it's just ra.
All right. I'm tripping.
So it says dua in the top, right? See, he's praising, and you see the star. So you know the star is dua. You've got an abstract thought, so you see the
I'm
scroll
bugging.
behind it. Then you have the mouth and the arm right underneath in black, ra.
Okay.
And then to help you out, you have the ra with the circle in it and the strokes, letting you know it's ra for sure. And then it's the netra right behind it. So it's dua ra, praise ra. And then it's something that it's his, whatever it is, because you see that viper, that horned viper. Tell us what
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, he's shining.
Well, you know what? I don't want to lose people. Let me not even lose people. Let's
It
just
does say
save
that.
this.
I know it says he's
Let's save
shining.
this for
I know
another
I'm not
day,
tripping.
man.
I
Let's
know
save it
that.
for
Let's
another
save.
Knows that.
day.
It does say shining, right?
Uh,
He's
I know it says
shining.
shining in there.
He's pure.
That's not. That's not. Oh shit. That's wild. I'm
There you
confusing
go.
myself.
Duara heft ubenuf em achetet abtet. What do we have here? Net pet
Yeah.
an asa sesh hetepet en
For the
neteru
sesh,
nebu anui.
etepet necher, and
Well,
necheru, neb, Lord, or all.
well, boy.
Ani,
Well, boy.
Ani. What's
Well,
is
boy.
that his name at the bottom?
That's his
Yeah.
Ani.
name. That's
Yeah.
his whole title right there. So it's said by the Asa, the scribe of the holy offerings or the God offerings of all the God offerings. Sorry, I didn't even
All.
read this bit here. From all the God offerings. Yeah, Anui or Ani.
That's
Yeah.
Ani. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but let's not get everybody because I think people are here for the Muslimic stuff. So we're
That's
gonna
right.
get them lost in Kemet right now, which the
Well,
people
when
here
you
So let's do
aren't ready
this.
for
Let's
Kemet
pull up
yet.
some Arabic, Kalam. Let's see my brothers read that Arabic the same way. We'll help you out in the Arabic too. Let's go.
Let's leave them, man. Let's leave
Well,
them.
I'm
Let's
out
leave
for
them
that
for
one.
now. Let's leave them for now, man. I don't even want to stress my brothers out right now. Um, ah, hold on. I want to know, Midas, is this? Yo, Michael, are you Midas or not?
Pardon?
Are you Midas? You're not Midas.
Midas. He's Midas.
Okay, never mind.
He's
Never
Midas.
mind. Ah, no, somebody that's hollering at me. But like, I put on this whole show right here for Midas, and Midas hasn't even come on.
Wow.
So I was thinking that you might be Midas Anthony.
I was Midas.
Huh?
I was Midas.
You are Midas.
I'm saying, did you think I was Midas? You're saying?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, never mind then. So, the whole show, I think
I
he
was just,
wanted to go
I was
through.
just continuing from his argument that you read out. I was just continuing from his argument that you read out. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. So I really wanted to touch this for him, specifically because he wanted to go into this whole Negus and all them things there.
I tell you
I
what.
was like, all right, cool, let's do that.
I tell you what. Let's move into your. We might as well talk about it then. Let's talk about
I
that
have
then.
less than 20 minutes online with you guys.
That's fine. Let's talk about that
I'm
then.
not going over 2 hours. So, what is it that you want to talk about?
Well, some of the sources that you use, according to your methodology, you throw out hadith, correct? You say it's 200. You say it's 200 years out, 200 years or whatever, 300 years after the time of the prophet, right? Or of the actual event that took place, correct?
In its compiled form, yeah.
It's compiled form, yeah. But you use, according to your when you try to build up this
Abyssinian Muhammad.
Abyssinian Muhammad, or rather when you try to link Abraha to the Negus, the Najashi of the Prophet's time, you use as reference sources that are like 700 years removed from the actual source. That's a bad methodology.
Explain that to me.
So, for example, please bring up, if you can, when you use in regards to, I think you use what's his name, Procopius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the earliest manuscript that we have of Procopius?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's in the 13th and 14th century. So you're using a source here that we only have in the 13th to 14th century, which is what, about 700, 800 years removed, to verify your ideas, essentially. That is a weak methodology.
Sorry, people, what's going on? What's going on? Man, I had a phone call and I had to go do my salah quickly. What's going on? What's happening?
No, we're just in the middle. We just started talking about. I was just basically saying that, according to Kalam, he basically says that hadith here are 2 to 300 years old. Yeah. So basically, essentially, it's all garbage, or essentially, we can't get to the true picture of what actually happened.
What
I'm saying,
the story of the elephant?
no, just in general,
Just in general. But y'all don't make that claim, though.
What?
Just to quickly throw that out there, don't even make that claim.
What's
you're
he saying? What's he saying there, Wayne?
What is hadith reliable now?
What was the general thing about?
That's what I'm trying to say. So what? Callum, is hadith reliable now?
Is hadith reliable?
Yeah.
Some hadith is and some
No.
hadith not.
Hold on, Callum. Okay, I just want to hear what Callum says, because
You're questioning,
you're
questioning it. It doesn't make sense. What do you mean? Is it reliable?
I'm not. from what you've always said, yeah, from what I've always heard you say is that the hadith are 200 to 300 years after the prophet, right? Correct. And you say because of this, we can't trust hadith. That's what you say. That's what I meant.
That's not the reason why that's not the reason why you can't trust hadith.
Okay, so tell me the reason why you can't trust hadith.
Because you have to understand the politics that took place within that 200 years and how they were wholesale making up stories within that time span.
So time is not an issue
You have
then.
to go and do that, and you're going to have to go and do the research to understand what was taking place. So you
So
can
is time an
see
issue?
how. Sorry?
Is time an issue then?
Time, it can be an issue. It can be an issue because of what has transpired in that time.
So in this regard, is it an issue in regards to hadith?
Is what an issue? Sorry, like
Is time an issue? The fact that we have the hadith is 200 or whatever, 250 years removed from the actual time of the prophet, is that an issue in regards to a reliable source?
with inside of academia, time is an issue.
Okay.
That's true. That's number one. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, it's not an issue in the way that you perceive it to be an issue.
You don't know how I perceive it to be.
Okay, because you're seeing it as because it is 200-year gap, therefore there must be a problem. Is what you're seeing, what I'm saying as how you're perceiving the situation as there must be a problem. You thinking I'm saying there must be a problem because it's 200 years gap.
Okay, so
Right? Is that true?
Yeah. That's how I've generally understood it from what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily the case.
Okay.
Because for historians, right, if it can be corroborated, it's not a problem.
Okay.
This is why I asked you the question about reliability of the hadith, because if it's strong or if it's weak. So in this case, it's a matter of what's the reliability from the person or the people who are bringing us the story. And that's why he said, get the isnad, the chain, because with the isnad, if we got somebody else who can verify the story, then okay, it's reliable. But in this case,
So are you
don't.
putting credit on Isnad now?
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, Islam doesn't have a problem with it because Islam, depending on what sect, will tell you their hadiths are weak or their hadiths are strong.
No, we're not
We
saying
have
what
the same
Islam's
opinion.
saying. We're saying what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that if the story is unreliable or if it's questionable, then you need more witnesses, which is what Islam tells you to get. So
No, that's
if
what I'm
you
saying.
only
Are you
have
putting
one
credit on
person,
Isnad? Because
like
I
I
don't know if Callum fully puts credit on
Let me
Isnad,
say
which
to
I
you, right?
suggest
Let
he
me say
might
to you,
do.
academia, right, utilizes a methodology called Isnad Kum Matan. Okay, and Isnad definitely plays a role in reconstructing these hadiths to see how far back they go and how we can historicize or use it in doing history.
Okay. Good. So say for example, like now we have again just like we were talking about before, Ibn Ashaq. You said,
But can I say this though?
yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
I just got a feeling that the stuff that you lot are gonna say is a lot of redundant stuff. That if you guys just pick up a book in academia on hadith studies or Islamic studies, like a lot of your questions should be easily answered.
That's nonsense, man. That's nonsense.
Okay.
No, Callum,
If you say so.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Let me just ask.
Because that
Hold
question
on,
that you just
hold on. Let
asked,
me
You're acting like other people.
that question that you just asked would be answered within that because there is a whole subject matter, a whole methodology called Isnad Kum Matan. So like to me it's redundant because if you've done the study, you would know that already.
Yeah, but that's not my point of contention though. You're just jumping.
Okay, go on.
According to you just said it. You literally just said that in academia, time plays a factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you not say that?
Yeah.
So then what's your issue with what I'm currently saying?
time doesn't necessarily discard the story, though. The reliability does.
I'm not discarding the story.
Reliability.
Have you, when I'm talking, please just listen to what I'm saying, because I'm not discarding any story. All I'm saying is, yeah, you said it as well, Callum. Yeah, in academia, time plays a factor, right? Yeah, and I've heard, you're saying, oh, it's only about the politics, yeah. But I've heard you say in the past also time is an issue, because that's why, for example, you'll go back to Ibn Ashaq. You'll go back to Ibn Ashaq, rather, and you say it's the earliest source that we have. So when you're saying that, are you not giving credence to you're not giving credence to how close it is to in time it is?
Yes.
Okay, so then that's what I'm addressing. That's all I'm addressing right now. Yeah. So in regards to that,
let me just ask Kevin something, because you're basically attacking the sources, right?
Let's make my point, please. Can I make my point, and then everyone can just fire away. That's what I'm saying. Is I'm saying
that's the point.
That the sources that Callum uses to legitimize his Abraha or his narrative, the earliest manuscripts that we have is from 800 years later. That's what I'm saying. The earliest, and between that time,
I get what Wayne is saying. Still, I kind of get what he's saying. Still,
so
he's saying that time could discredit the situation. But this is why I had to already said this. This is why I need you to hear what we're saying in response. It's not the time that's the issue. The issue is the credibility that the story is correct in the first place. So it could be told 1,000 years from that time. The problem is, do we have anybody else to verify the story, which is the Islamic way of doing things?
But
so,
there's actually archaeological evidence for some of the stuff that Calvin is talking about. So I don't know exactly what sources you're looking for, because there's inscriptions.
The archaeology sources, whatever Callum's talking about, please.
There's inscriptions. Like, for instance, how Callum was talking about, me and him were talking about the Messiah and how that was Abraham's formula.
That's old news. We know that South Arabian inscriptions. Been talking about.
So that is actual archaeological evidence right there of the person that he's talking about. So maybe Michael Wayne should clarify what sources he's actually talking about, so that we can look at those.
No, what person is he talking about? Because I came late,
so what I'm saying is,
he's talking about Abraham, right?
The reason why the reason why time. There is what I'm saying is time is a factor here, but there's a reason why time plays a factor, because over that, essentially the more time that elapses, there's more, essentially, in theory, I'm saying in theory, for Tom Johnson, in theory, there's more chance of distortion.
Michael, but
even the king's list, even the king's list of the Ethiopians, Abraha, there's Abraha the first, Abraha the second, Abraha the third. So we've got more than one Abraha. You know what I'm saying? And they've got a mythological story with him and King Caleb.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
a lot of things has happened after.
I'm not saying
but there's still, like, you're not. So, brother, Michael Wayne, we've heard.
Every time I talk, someone's interrupting. Every time I talk, someone jumps in, so I can't.
Brother, we've heard what you said, man.
No, you haven't heard what I said. What did I say? What's my point?
This is exactly what you said. You're saying that the time, is important, because Callum.
I don't get you, Easy Bands. What are you trying to say? Because Callum's coming from a whole angle with that. So if you're
what I'm saying,
if you're agreeing with his stance, that means you must agree with the Pope Muhammad, everything what he's trying to say, technically.
So all I'm saying is when Kalam is quoting people like Procopius, yes, we can say
it's that outside source.
The outside source. Procopius is what I think he uses it for. I can't remember. I think it's for the righteous king.
What's the source called?
Procopius.
And what does he talk about?
He uses it to verify.
His name?
Sorry. P-R-O
P-R-O
C-O, I think.
C-O.
P-I-U-S, I think anyway. My point, all my point, what
Hold
I'm
on, one
saying,
second. Everybody, can I get everybody to mute their mics? It's sent from Michael Wayne,
yeah, sure.
and go ahead, Michael. No interrupting
Procopius,
him.
century history.
Mute your mics, everybody. Otherwise, I'll mute them for you.
Yes, what I'm saying is, yeah, I'm not saying that's the only metric that we can use to verify the reliability of a source. I'm not saying as the be all and end all. But for example, even Callum in his presentations, he prefers to use Ibn Ashaq over other sources, and he mentions it being it's the earliest source that we have. I've heard this a number of times. So the time the earlier a report is to a source is one factor that can be used in reliability. There are others. I'm not saying there are not others. Yeah, but what I am saying is that when Academy is quoting people like Procopius, I'm probably butchering his name, Procopius. Yeah, he is attributed to him from. It's attributed to Procopius is from the 6th century. The earliest manuscripts we have of Procopius is in the 13th century. That's 700 years. The earliest manuscript that we have is in the 13th century, but he uses that as an evidence.
Okay. And also, could you maybe off air, could you substantiate this 13th century thing that you've found?
Yeah, sure I can, but you guys continue talking because my computer's moving mad slow. It took me ages to get up the other one, but I can do that.
But you don't need to worry about it. Like, you can always just like message it to me where you get this 13th century thing from.
Sure. Are you aware of that?
I wasn't aware of it, but I don't have any problems with extant manuscripts being in the 13th century. For example, the extant manuscripts of Bukhari, I think it's like the 13th or the 15th century. I don't have a problem with still dating it as part of the 9th century works. It's just that an extant manuscript is in the 13th or the 15th century.
But when you're quoting something, isn't that something you should be aware of, though?
Well, when the extant manuscript is?
Yeah.
Maybe you should be
aware of it. As someone who claims to be a historian, you should be, though, shouldn't you?
Maybe you should be aware of it, but for me, it's pointless.
It's so if you're quoting something from you're saying from the 13th century, yeah, the earliest existing manuscript we have is from the 13th century, and it's attributed to the 13th, and it's attributed to the 6th century.
For example,
that's not an issue.
For example, what is the earliest complete extant manuscript of the Quran? Is it in the 7th century? The answer is no.
When is it?
Does that mean you go and find out? Does it mean
in the 6th century?
I don't think. Sorry.
Is it in the 6th century?
No, it's much later than all of that. Okay.
So when's the Birmingham manuscript?
Mean that is not a complete manuscript.
Say?
That is not the complete Quran. That's not the complete extant manuscript of the Quran.
We don't have anything. We don't. I'm saying to you, even with the Quran, there are we have fragments and stuff. For Procopius, we don't have anything.
Okay. So would it be then that you're saying that Procopius was written in the 13th century?
I'm not saying that.
It's a what's it called? What do we call it? It's a pseudograph. It's something that was made up and retrospected back into the 6th century. Is that what you think it is?
I'm not. Whenever like in regards to the other point I was making, yeah, I'm never gonna say I'm smarter than everyone else. All I'm saying is, yeah, I say what is clear, what can be substantiated from clear things. All I'm saying is that the earliest manuscripts, I'm not exerting anything. All I'm saying is that if you're using a methodology, yeah, you're trying to build this narrative, yeah, you're quoting things from the you're quoting things about the 6th century. Yeah, the earliest manuscripts that we have is from the 13th century. That's 800 years of moving
And
event.
I have
Well,
no
That's
problems with
crazy.
that.
Huh?
Because
so
because it's funny how you know that about Procopius, but you don't know that about the rest of Islamic literature. The
right.
rest of Islamic literature
I haven't said
is
that.
exactly that. No, well, let me just show you.
Yeah.
The rest of Islamic literature, yeah, whatever you think is written in the 7th, 8th, and 9th century, there is no extant manuscript until the 13th, 15th, 16th centuries.
Again,
Even Ibn Ishaq, hold on. I'm just giving you an example. Even Ibn Ishaq, there isn't an extant manuscript of Ibn Ishaq. This was something that was later compiled in, I believe, the 18th century by
Right.
going together and collecting all these different fragments of these different manuscripts and putting it together. Does it mean that I think that Ibn Ishaq was, was only wrote, I don't know, like only came about in the 18th century? No, we
is that
know
true? Or what's the earliest manuscript that you have in Ibn Ishaq?
we don't have an early. We have. I think it was the
Ibn
German scholars.
Isham or Ibn Isham, sorry, Ibn Isham.
Yeah,
But
you
No, we
get
don't have.
pieces.
We don't even have that. Okay, we just have pieces of it. We don't have an actual extant
Quran
manuscript.
was borrowed.
Yeah, well, it's like the Quran, right? Your first manuscripts are from 568 to like 647 AD, but it's not the complete thing yet. And remember, they're finding these written on the sides of cows. They're finding manuscripts on the sides of trees. They're trying to put the thing together.
It's
I
a
don't think it's
Muhammad
true.
compilation of
supposedly
stories.
died in 632
I don't
AD.
think it's true.
It's a compilation of stories that existed before the Quran.
Exactly.
The same thing with the Bible. It's a compilation of poems that existed way before. And I have proof of that. You can actually go to poems that existed before the Bible and you can see word for word it's in the Quran. It's all made up, it's all fable, it's all nonsense.
What paradigm do you come from? Are you
Damn.
of no belief, or
So
you think?
paradigm that
God
I come from. Are you
damn.
trying to say what I believe?
Yeah.
So basically, what you have to understand is right. First and foremost, there is no such thing as a god.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
to
yeah,
understand,
yeah. No, you don't need to go through all of that. We
Uh-oh, Teo
trust,
coming with
trust.
bang.
What is your belief? Do you have like a
I'm
higher
listening from
power
the
you
car.
pray
Let me
to?
tell you.
yeah,
Do you have reverence?
I have a belief. So my belief is self
So what's it based on?
realization
African
and
spirituality,
natural
Asian?
selection. But if you want to get deep into it,
What,
based
African
on none of that.
spirituality?
So can
No,
life
no,
come from
I
non-life?
don't believe in African spirituality. That's all nonsense as well.
So
And what's your
can
background?
life come from non-life?
My background is I'm black.
Yeah, well, but what are you? Caribbean, African?
There's no such thing as Caribbean. I'm of Caribbean, but West African, but there's no such thing as Caribbean.
So,
So
so
your
are
answer is
you
West
are
African.
you a descendant of those that was taken as slaves as the Jews and the
I'm not a descendant. I am West African. That makes no sense.
Okay, so is your forefathers were they taken from one place to another?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty understandable your stance because you already said African spirituality is nonsense. So what makes your system higher than the ancestors that your forefathers that was taken from one place to the other? What makes your
Okay.
system better than theirs?
My system,
Okay.
same system.
Hold on. Pause. Tayo. Pause. All right. So, family tree. Yeah. We've reached the end of the show. I have, I believe, I have given to my community a good 2 hours of my time. The conversation will continue, but unfortunately, it will be continuing off air because I don't have the time to do a longer show with you guys, unfortunately. Hopefully, Thursday. Thursday would be a good day, hopefully, if work allows me to. Thursday should be a good day to do a show, roughly again, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. we could do a show, and hopefully this time around we will be doing a show on Kemet. And if you can, please get yourself a book by Faulkner called The Egyptian Book of the Dead, I believe.
Faulkner, Raymond Faulkner's Egyptian Book of the Dead. Where's Jose? Jose's gone. Right, we're going to be going through that.
Wait,
We
I
may
think I got something like that. Hold on. Where did I put that book?
we may simply go through the English version, and I think there is so much information on page 1
What
that we're
about
just
John
going to stop
Baldwin?
at page 1.
What about John Baldock?
Nah. So we're looking at Raymond Faulkner's Egyptian Book of the Dead, and I will just quickly share that with you guys, what that looks like. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let's see if I can get this up. What side do I have to go to? Here we go. Let's do a present. There is Jose. He's back. Let's do a present screen. So I want
Hello?
you guys to get ready. Yep, 1 second. So let's share that. That's that Procopius that my brother was talking about. And we're going to go across, and we're going to go over here. Raymond A. Faulkner. And Book of the Dead.
You know I have the book already, Kalam.
Yeah?
Yeah, you just had text me, let me know.
Cool. And look, right here, any of you guys, you can go online. This is the book that we're going to be going through, okay? And we're going to be starting
I don't
off
think that's
with...
what I have, though. He had the one I have is the more updated one, I think.
Oh, is it?
It has about 5 scholars working on it. That's a more updated version of it.
All right. So I don't know if it's on here or not. But
Are we allowed to critique the ideas in this book?
Hopefully, yeah. I want you to.
All right.
See if we can just
We're gonna see some, some similar, Christian,
Yeah.
So right here, is this? No, this is Wallace Budge's one. I want Faulkner's one. Where's Faulkner's one?
I'll send it for you, Kalam.
No, but I'm trying to get it for the rest of the community so they can see it. I want it to be as easy as possible. Let's see, 10 pages. Nope, that's not enough.
No, it's the Book of the Dead, the complete papyrus of Annie.
Yep.
That's what it's called. The Book of the Dead, the complete papyrus of Annie.
All right, give me a sec. Okay. Book of the Dead, complete
papyrus of Annie. It would be from 1994 or something like that, somewhere around there.
I already have it, but I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it up so that everybody else can literally just find it easy and have it. So if they want to critique any ideas, feel free. Let's see. Hopefully, limited preview.
So basically, according to Tony Teo, this would be nonsense. Technically, according to Toyo, this would be nonsense.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I already know where black people come from.
Yeah, but according to your logic, this would be nonsense. What Callum's showing them.
That's fine.
That's nonsense.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying what he's technically saying, innit? He's saying it's all garbage, innit?
Yeah, I'm good with that, man. If that's what he says, I don't have no problem with that. Because in certain breaths, I would even say the same thing as well.
Yeah, I hear you. I know your stance. That's why you didn't want to talk about the other things like you said the other day. You're just going to go into one aspect of it.
I mean, if you were looking at the Anunnaki, then you'd be making a bit more sense.
No, we can't look at that. No, we can't. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't. We can't do none of that. According to what you said, we can't do none of that because that's all the biblical, all of that stems from that place there. So if you're gonna deny the biblical stance, that is all copied off from previous, which I have no problem with it being in existence previous before the Bible and the Quran. If it's nonsense in the Quran and Bible, it's nonsense back then. It's just all nonsense at all. I mean, totality. So
I want to know from Teo how we get life from non-life. That's my question, bro.
Lad, I want to ask him some good questions myself.
So guess what's gonna happen? We're going off air, okay, and you guys can have all of those questions for him. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the book so that you guys can literally follow along. But I do have it in my PDF and in the book format. So Jose, we will be going in on it. We will be turning to page 1. Let me quickly do this. Actually, give me 1 second.
All right. Well, when you're ready for me to come on, you can let me know because I could just read the English. I'm very good at the method.
I already told you. Yeah, we're going straight. We're going from the English.
Is Jose Solomonic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big up Solomonic, man. You good, yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, is this it? Let me quickly open it up. There we go. And let's go. The share screen and Windows and Faulkner. So, this is the book that we're going to be going through. It's up on the screen.
Is that it? No.
Yep. Ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, R.O. Faulkner.
I can't believe I ain't got this book.
No, that's not the one I have. The one I have, I think, is a more updated one from 1994, something like that.
This one is.
I've got the book. I've got something like this, but by John wherever, the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
This is 2001.
Is that it?
I don't know, but this is the papyrus of King, I believe.
And this book I've got has got hymns as well. It's got all the glyphics. It's got the hymns.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same book though. Yours might be more up to date than mine, huh? I don't know.
It might be, and we'll be going right here. Where all the highlights are. The very first page, introductory hymn to the sun god Ra.
Yeah, I've got something like that in mine as well.
Yeah,
I think yours is more. Boy, I think yours is more.
But mine's a bit small. Like it's not a thick book, but it's fresh and nice size. So I don't know. It's got prayers, all of that there as well.
So let me quickly just get Brother the Most High. Are you there? And let me get back my brother Michael Wayne into the mix. Cool. So as I said, yeah, this is what we're going to be going through. So if you guys got any questions and you want to, polemically attack Kemetic philosophy, please come on in and attack. That day I will be on the side of Kemet. So if you're attacking Kemet, you're also attacking me. Yay! And I get to defend Kemetic philosophy. I'm going to say this. I am not defending the Kemetic religion on that day. I am not going to be defending what, what you might find Kemetics might be saying online. We do none of those things. I will simply be defending the text. So if we're bringing up a text and their philosophy, that is what I will be defending, nothing else.
And what if the text is in line with another African tribe's philosophy and proverbs, but differ in theology? What next? Is that's a nice ground of argument, correct?
Yeah, you can bring that up. I'm not going to be
don't say a
attacking
word.
you on that or defending you on that. You bring it up.
Don't say a word.
Do what you got to do. We've had a lot of Muslimic loving stuff.
I said Islamic.
So please, I love Kemet stuff in it, so.
Now big up Kemet, man. That's definitely part of man's heritage. You know what I'm saying? No doubt.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys already know what Elijah did to Kemet, man. So
Nah, man, that's part of your heritage as well, man. Stop running away from it, man. What's wrong with you, man?
I mean, I know what my heritage is, bro. But I
Yeah, we all
understand.
know what our heritage is,
Yo,
but there's no
yo,
doubt that the philosophy and teaching crept to your people.
Israel was in Kemet, bro. Israel became a nation in Kemet, man. You know,
What
so
you can trace your heritage back to the ancient Israelites?
All right,
no,
cool.
no, no.
Anyways, I need to come
That's
offline.
So what's that got to do with the convo?
Let me just get offline quickly first, and then you guys can carry on this conversation.
Yeah.
Any questions? Family Tree, if you've been here for the longest, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already. What else is going on? Big up the scholars, let's get it. African spirituality low, that does sound silly. Enki and them ones, says Mark Smith. So, yeah, we've done a good 2-hour plus show. I want to close down the show from here. I should be in the background. So if you need me, just call me and I will come through.
I'm going. When you're ready, just call me, right?
Yep.
I mean, just email me. Sorry, for the show.
I'm letting you know from now. This time Thursday, when I started this show earlier on, which is 8 p.m. What's the time where you are?
It's 5. It's after 5 here.
Yeah,
okay,
5:17.
Cool. So there's 5 hours. So you're in Eastern time, right?
Yes, I'm in Trinidad.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect. That means I might even. I was there. Anyways, let me not even talk.
So what time? Right. So what's the time difference?
So the time difference is 5 hours. So 8 p.m. is usually when I do the shows. So that will be 3 p.m. over Trini time.
All right. I should get the notification.
Yeah. So we're doing a Kemetic show. We're doing straight from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, from the Papyrus of Ani. We're going through the English, and we're breaking stuff down in there. And it's going to be sick because I'm going to have my own interpretation of the text. Asar is going to have his own interpretation of his text. Jose is going to have his own interpretation of the text. And we're all going to be sharing that information and learning from one another. And hopefully other Kemetic brothers can come in and give their own insights. I should say insights, not interpretations. Give their own insights to the text. And then our good brothers who are Israelites, Christians, Muslims, atheists can all come in, and if they want to attack or share information, I'm there.
No, I'm not really going to attack, but we seeing it. But I'm not trying to attack still. But we see what's good.
Every group you mentioned are subhumans.
We see what's good in it if it needs attacking, you know.
It's going
so
down.
Family Tree, we're closing down the live section of the show.
Muslims
if you guys
are
want to join
subhumans.
in off air, all you have to do is click the link to join in. But we're going off air, and only 6 members can actually be on here with us. So peace and love, and I'll catch you guys. All right, salute, Jose.
I'll see you Thursday.
Peace, Jose. Peace, Solomon.
Salute, brother.
Okay, so we got the Most High in of us.
We off air.
Michael Wayne, Easy Bands. We're going to be off here.
Hey, Michael Wayne, you're the new